A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a striking display of diplomatic tension, U.S. President Donald Trump has publicly expressed his disappointment with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky for allegedly not reviewing a proposed peace plan aimed at resolving the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Speaking to reporters at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. this past Sunday, Trump claimed that both Moscow and Zelensky's people were in favor of the agreement, yet he criticized Zelensky for hindering the progress of negotiations. "We've been speaking to President Putin, and we've been speaking to Ukrainian leaders, including President Zelensky. And I have to say I'm a little disappointed Zelensky hasn't yet read the proposal. That was as of a few hours ago," Trump remarked. He added, "Russia's fine with it. You know, Russia would rather have the whole country." This statement comes at a critical juncture, as Zelensky prepares to meet with key European leaders, including UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz in London on Monday. The meeting is intended to discuss the US-drafted peace plan, which has faced scrutiny and concern from European allies due to its perceived concessions to Russian demands. Just days prior, Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, and son-in-law Jared Kushner engaged in extensive discussions with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Putin characterized the talks as very useful, although he acknowledged that significant differences remain between the parties. The original 28-point peace plan, which was drafted by the US and shared with the media last month, raised eyebrows across Europe as it seemed to favor Moscow's maximalist demands. Despite the flurry of diplomatic activity, both sides have yet to reach an agreement, with Russia insisting that Ukraine must surrender occupied territory and significantly downsize its military as part of any peace deal. Kyiv has firmly rejected these demands, labeling them unacceptable. Nonetheless, Keith Kellogg, Trump's outgoing envoy to Ukraine, claimed on Sunday that a peace agreement was really close, but noted that two critical issues remain unresolved: the fate of the Donbass region and the status of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. European leaders are increasingly anxious about the deadlock, fearing that the US might eventually withdraw its support for Ukraine. Macron recently warned European allies that Trump may betray Ukraine during peace negotiations, suggesting that the Trump administration could pressure Ukraine to concede territory without offering adequate security guarantees. This sentiment underscores a growing rift between European nations and Washington regarding the best approach to resolving the nearly four-year-old conflict. Compounding these tensions, an explosive U.S. national security strategy document released last week claimed that Europe faces civilizational erasure due to mass migration, aligning with narratives from the European far-right. Notably, the document did not identify Russia as a threat to the U.S., further raising concerns among European leaders. On Sunday, Trump's eldest son indicated that the president might abandon the peace process altogether, suggesting that the issue is less significant to Americans compared to his father's ongoing war on drug cartels. As tensions escalate between the US and Ukraine, Zelensky is set to continue his diplomatic efforts in London and beyond, ensuring that Ukraine's territorial integrity and future security are prioritized amid increasing pressure to accept US-backed proposals that many view as overly favorable to Russia. In his nightly address, Zelensky described the recent talks in Miami, which involved his chief negotiator and military leaders alongside US officials, as constructive, though not easy. He emphasized the importance of discussing certain matters in person, indicating that some negotiations require a more direct approach. Zelensky's upcoming meetings in London, Brussels, and Rome will be crucial as he seeks to solidify support from European allies and navigate the complexities of the US-drafted peace plan. With the potential for a coalition of the willing to provide security guarantees in a post-war Ukraine, European leaders are eager to ensure their voices are heard in discussions that could have significant ramifications for the continent's security landscape. However, Russia has vehemently opposed the idea of foreign troops being deployed in Ukraine, with Putin labeling them as legitimate targets. The Kremlin's response to Trump's criticism of Zelensky has been cautious, with spokesperson Dmitry Peskov stating that the outcome of the recent negotiations remains unclear. As both sides continue to grapple with the intricacies of the proposed peace plan, The international community watches closely, hoping for a resolution that ensures stability in the region while addressing the concerns of all parties involved. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.